Yeah, hello guys, it's the Eminent Trader, and this is my weekly outlook for this new week. Today is 15th of March 2026, and I'll be going through some of the major pairs that I basically look at. Now, let's start with Audjpy. So, first of all, we start with the daily. On the daily, you can clearly see that the market is still basically on an uptrend, but then it's currently targeting the demand zones, and you can clearly see an inducement here, which means I don't expect any buys to happen within this area. I don't expect any buys to happen within this area because of this inducement. I expect the market to target here first, to first of all sweep it regardless. I expect it to sweep it regardless, and that is that. The FVGs has already been filled, to most definitely fill this one and possibly continue to the downside. Then you go to your 4 hours, and this is where it gets interesting. But this, like I said, this is where it gets interesting. You can clearly see an unmitigated order block with an FVG directly above it. Because of this inducement, I'm basically looking for the nearest POI to pick my entries from. Now I can see an FVG and I can see this candle. Then I go to my 3 hours just to see it clearly. Then I can see this unmitigated order block with an FVG, clear FVG directly above the inducement. And what that means is that the price can decide to use the FVG and bounce. But one thing that is certain is that it is most definitely going to sweep that inducement. And why did I say so? Basically, everything here has mitigated each other. This has been mitigated. This has already been mitigated here. This has already mitigated this. This has mitigated this. So there's actually nothing here. And this is not really a major POI that you want to say, I want to use it to buy. So it's definitely clearing all of this as liquidity, including this inducement into this FVG. So if at all I want to even place any form of buy, I have to wait for price to get here. And what I'll most likely be looking for is sell opportunities to take me back to this level. And that is where this comes in. That's why I marked this area here. It is unmitigated. So price might eventually come back here and continue. So it will look like, on lower time frame, it might look like a reversal. I don't want to go down there because it's none of my business for now. So this level here on the lower time frame might look like something that wants to hold and would most likely just push price back towards this level. Then it will now sell to sweep this inside and we start buying from there. I know the market does not move straight forward. So that's basically what I expect on this market. And if this does not hold, then this will most likely hold because Gbpjpy is like using the extreme entries too. And if it decides to use the extreme entries, then it will most likely come for this unmitigated order block because every other thing there has been mitigated. This has already mitigated this one. This has mitigated this. So this is the only unmitigated order block here, and it is an origin. And this has already been mitigated. So it is an origin towards every other movement that has happened here. So if at all I'm looking for any buy, it is either here or here. And I'll most likely be waiting for confirmation too before I set the limit. I need to see how the market reacts here. And yeah, but I'll most likely be looking for a sell first towards my level. But I know that the market is most likely not going to bounce until it gets to this area. So that is that for AUDJPY. Let's get to the next one. So the next one is AUDUSD. Ding, 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 ding. My network has been really bad today, very terrible. I've not been able to do a lot of videos that I wanted to. So same vibe here. You can clearly see an inducement liquidity to be swept. The market is clearly headed in that direction. Now it has left an FVG here to be filled. So if at all the market buys from here, this is where I'll be taking my first profit. I know that it will definitely want to fill that FVG first of all before anything. You see network. Network is annoying. God. So on the daily, I can clearly see that this one is very straightforward, but then there's so many FVGs to be filled underneath. But then the market is still on an uptrend, and that's the most recent place. Oh God. Oh God. Network is very bad. Then I have this. You can clearly see very sweet price action. So I expect price to sweep here. This has already filled the FVG, so this is the only valid POI currently on the 4 hours. So I expect price to sweep this and target this external range liquidity. Now. So I expect price to sweep that, pick the other block, and target that external range liquidity, and we see how it moves from there. So you can clearly see that network is not making this easy for me at all. If not for the passion, I'll just leave it. Just leave it. So that is that. So this is basically what I'm looking out for. But then I'll still wait for confirmation, the CISD, probably on the 1 hour, and see what it does. Since 4 hours is my higher time frame here, so I need to see a CISD to confirm that, okay, this level is going to hold. Then I'll buy from there and target that AVG on the 4 hours. So that is that. For AUD USD, who's next? GG. So this one, there's nothing here. I'm just waiting. It's just a waiting game because now it has left. This is unmitigated. There's inducements here, normal level. It has given, that swept here. So this is a protected low, very protected. I don't expect price to come there anytime soon. It is very protected, properly mitigated, multiple breaks of structure. So definitely I'm looking for buys. But then where am I buying from? Definitely, yeah, if you go to the 2 hours, you go to the 2 hour, you see it. Even though it has been mitigated, this is one thing why it has already mitigated the CISD on the 2 hours. So that's one major reason why I'm not placing this order yet. I want to see how it reacts here. Probably to create a CISD for me to join and move. So I'll wait for confirmation here because this has already been mitigated. And if at all it ignores this place, then this is where I'll most likely be looking at this whole area here. That's what I'll be looking at. But then trading is a patience game. So I need to see what the market wants to do. This is unmitigated, by the way. Clearly unmitigated, and there's an FVG there. So that's just a refined entry on the 4 hours though. But on the 2 hours rather, on the 4 hours, this is the full level. And this can serve as inducement to into the FVG. So one has to be very careful in this area. You need to wait for confirmation, even though I'm looking for buys. I know I'll get my buys, but then I'll be very patient before jumping into the market. So this is not something I would also place yet. I'll wait for confirmation. And like I always say, when the new week market open, always just observe. That's how to catch good entries. Just like the GU we caught towards the end of the previous week. So this one now, let me show you something. So there's a daily demand. If you notice, I did not go to weekly this week. because I analyzed most of my trades from the daily. So if you look at this now, this is a valid daily order block, unmitigated. So, and it is a liquidity pool, basically. It is very protected. So, and this is a strong low also. So what I'm looking out for is price to enter into the daily OB. Then I'll see how it reacts. If it gives me a 4-hour CISD or 1-hour CISD, then I can start looking for buy opportunities. But for now, I can see that this has broken the recent structure also. Do you understand? So, and if you look at it, it was creating a mini downtrend targeting this daily order block. So until it gets there, before I decide whatever I want to do, and if it breaks here, I know that, okay, let's now look for sales. But for then, I feel like it will most likely hold because this is clearly unmitigated and it's also a very strong demand zone that created this break. So created multiple breaks along the way too before it got there. So let's see how this goes, but this can serve as inducement. But once it enters this, I see how it reacts. If it gives me a bullish bias, I find my entries and I'll target this external range liquidity. But then I'll be targeting this first, probably using a 30 minutes or 15 minutes entry. I'll be targeting this high first to be taken out alongside those FVGs. So that is that. That is that. Dun, 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 dun. There's nothing much there. It's just waiting for confirmation. I think I have the same thing on NZD. Let me be sure. Yes, on the NZD too, I think I say I have the same thing. So there's nothing here yet that I don't like this price action to begin with. And this is giving a failure swing vibe also. It has failed to go above this level. So this looks like a strong high, first of all. Looks like a strong high. The FVG has already been filled. So there's literally nothing attracting the markets to that place. Why am I looking at GG again? It's supposed to be GU now. Oh, don't tell me I missed it though. Oh, network now. I was wondering that. So it's not what I'm supposed to be looking here. Supposed to be NZD. So yes, this, like I always say, daily FVG, do not play with it. Do not play with daily FVG, especially if it is big like this. It always attracts the market. And look at this place. This is liquidity. There's nothing here. It is pure liquidity. The only thing that is here is this. The only thing that is here is this level here. But then I'll be waiting to see how it reacts there first. So the market has already filled the FVG, which was the initial target from last week. It has already filled the FVG before the market closed. Now I have this other block here. And if you zoom out, you clearly see that this is a bullish pattern. It is a very bullish pattern. So, and there's an FVG here. So this can end up serving as inducement. So the more reason why you have to always be careful whenever you want to enter some trades, especially on the daily. So it won't be liquidity that's filled the FVG. So this might serve as inducement if it does not reverse from there. And it might just tap into this other block and bounce. So I'll be waiting to see how it reacts here or here before deciding whether I want to buy or not. I'd like to see a CISD too, because it will signify that, okay, the market is about to change the state of delivery to the other side. And once it does that, I'll be targeting this FVG first of all that needs to be filled. So that will be my first target. That'll be my first target. And this has already been filled. This is also unmitigated. So this is also another level to be very careful about because the market might reverse around this level. So in as much as entry is important, where you want to exit from is also very, very what? Very, very important. So that is that. Very straightforward. Wait for confirmation to buy, and you see how it goes from there. Let's see what's next. I think it should be UJ now. Mhm. Network. Very annoying and terrible. All right. So this one now is not giving me the vibe that I like. And when it comes to correlation, so you have to be very careful. Remember, this is bullish and it has already broken a significant high. And what it means is that 90% of the time, by the time it wants to drop, it has to drop massively towards a major demand that will push price back to the upside. Sure, you understand? So, which means that in this instance now, you have absolutely no business in this market, but now until it shows you what's next it wants to do after sweeping this high to tell you, do I want to continue or do I want to reverse back? And it is give, this is an FVG. This is also another FVG. This has already been filled. And this is a valid order block here. And this might serve as in this way. This is the daily, by the way. So this is the nearest level. This is the nearest level. You go to the 4 hours, there's an order block there, unmitigated. So I expect price to give something like this now, maybe go up a little bit. So as it is dropping, the XXS USD pairs that we are buying will also buy. So that is the correlation that I'm banking on for this setup. Do you understand? But anything that concerns buy does not concern me yet until I get to this place. Because this has been filled, the FVGs have been filled already. So everything here is just liquidity. They're just liquidity. So what I'll be looking for is a 1 hour, 30 minutes or 15 minutes CISD. Then I'll target this place. So this is where I'll be targeting for it to, for price to come back there. So if I get a bearish candle and I see that, okay, the market wants to change direction and it gives me reason to, then I'll continue to the downside. But on this 1 hour, I can clearly see they are too close. So it's too risky to be looking for buys. It's too risky. I need the higher time frame to show me what it wants to do first of all, before anything. So in this situation, there's no need to rush. And another reason why this level is valid because of this FVG directly above an order block that also has a sweep, which means this is a strong low. This is a very strong low. This is a very strong low. So I don't expect price to just come straight to give me that bearish vibe to sell to this point. Because this is like the major point that can push price further to the upside. If you notice, most of this has been mitigated. If you look at this now, apart from this one, apart from this, every other thing here, this has mitigated this. This has mitigated this. Then this has not been mitigated. And there's an FVG there too. So if at all I want to buy too, I'll be looking at this. If I'm buying on like the 1 hour now, I'll most likely use this as my inducement. But then confirmation, very, very key. So that is that. Let me go to gold before I stop. So for gold now, let me go back to my daily. There's a daily order block that is unmitigated. See this? Clearly unmitigated. So if at all, anytime price comes here now, I'll be waiting to see a reaction here. So this will give me a more valid sell than rushing into any form of sell around here. This is an inducement that has filled the FVG, so it has turned to an inducement. As price is coming back there, is ignoring this, is definitely going for this. And if I see a reaction on the lower time frame, like the 1 hour, you now get something tangible from it. Then once I get myself, why is it not showing? Network. This is where I'll be targeting. I did not delete that thing, no. So I expect price to come back to sweep this level much later on. So those are the levels I'll be targeting once I get an entry for a sell. But for me to get a sell, I expect price to get into this place first of all before looking for any form of sell. Because anything you are doing around here now, you're just guessing. You're just guessing. The market is giving, you can see, it's giving liquidity for this level. So it is when price now comes inside that daily order block that you now be like, okay, what is happening here? Where am I selling from? They now refine your entry because most of the time it might not end up getting into this. It might just enter inside and give that CISD and change direction and you join it and everybody is happy. So that's basically all on the major pairs that I'm trading. So go through it, study and see how it goes during the week. I'll see you same time next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.